just heard shooting inside the hospital, man. So I don't know if there's any more casualties or what, you know. It's just sad.
Can you describe, like, visually, like, did you see anything, like, in the parking lot, like, when you left the hospital?
No, I didn't see nothing in the parking lot after I left. I seen a body laying on the ground, you know, and we seen that because it was lifeless, just lifeless.
And that was the person you said that he shot? Like,
yeah, twice, two more times.
Wow.
You know, it's just sad.
Describe the gun, man. Old man.
You couldn't see because it was from a distance, but you can see it was a gun. Yeah, it was a gun. He had a handgun.
That was a chilling account there from another witness on the scene who said in his life he's never seen anything like this. Certainly the case for so many, I'm sure. We want to go now to CBS 2's Charlie DeMar. He has been pushed back to a different area, but he has another witness on the scene there. Charlie, what can you tell us?
And yeah, we just caught up with Vicky. She was inside the hospital. She actually works inside the hospital.
No, I work in this building.
You work in this building across from the hospital. You heard those shots. Walk me through what you heard, what you saw.
I heard 5 shots, and I asked my co-worker, were those gunshots? And she said, yeah. I went to my window, and I could see there were a couple of police cars in the street, and someone was shooting at them. That's what it looked like. And someone ran back in the building. I don't know if that was the gunman or who that was, but after that, the shots kept coming. And the next thing I know, there were several police cars coming in from everywhere. Still more shots, a couple of more shots. But after that, it was just crazy. Just police cars coming from everywhere.
And what were you doing at that time?
Just standing there watching. I was in my office working and just standing there watching.
Stunned? Or what was going on?
Oh yeah, I was stunned because this has never happened over here.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what set that off, but yeah, I was stunned. I was pretty stunned.
And were you evacuated from the building? Did you just leave the building? How did that work?
No, we weren't evacuated.
Okay.
Our building is okay. We have access to the other side of the street to get out, but no, we saw the other workers, people coming out of the hospital after a while. Basically, they were coming out. I guess it was safe, and the police were bringing some people out.
Right. And you heard those shots, you heard that exchange of fire, knowing that it happened, you know, at the campus across the street. What kind of emotions does that bring to you?
Well, it's sad. You know, I don't know if that was a purpose shooting, but regardless whether it was purpose or not, it's sad because you can't go to the hospital, you can't go to school, you can't go to church, you can't go to the grocery store, you cannot go anywhere, and it's all over, not just in Chicago, it's all over the country. So it's just sad because you never know, you just never know when you walk into a place if you're going to come out alive.
Thank you. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you
for sharing that with me.
And thank you, Charlie, again for another terrific interview there. We're going to turn now to Brad Edwards live in the CBS 2 newsroom. The 2 investigators combing through a few things and trying to get us the latest information there. Brad, what do you have?
All right, just hearing from one of our sources now that one of the offenders is indeed down at a location in the hospital that we are not reporting yet. We're kind of gathering information as we speak, talking and comparing what our sources are telling us. It appears that this began as potentially again, all very fluid, some type of domestic incident outside the hospital at about 3:15 this afternoon. The first person shot, we're told, was a female. One cop tells me it appears to be a girlfriend. She was shot potentially multiple times. She is now in emergent care, in serious to critical condition. It's believed that the shooter then at some point in time made his way inside to the hospital. Getting conflicting reports from our sources here, but we believe that 2 individuals, potentially 2, 1 or 2, were shot inside the hospital. We don't know if they were patients, we don't know if they were staff, but we know that 1 or 2 individuals were shot inside the hospital. So that's additional to the police officer, whom we know at some point in time potentially exchanged gunfire. He's in critical condition and being cared for. And then sources telling me that they believe this offender And again, potentially started as a domestic incident about 3:15 this afternoon. The shooter, I am told, has been shot. I don't know his condition, though. I don't know if his condition is known, but they appear to know exactly where he is, and it is somewhere inside Mercy Hospital in real time. So very much still an active situation. So to just recap what I told you, about 3:15 it started, potentially a domestic incident outside. A female, potentially a girlfriend, was shot. We don't know how many times. In serious to critical condition. The male, the shooter, in this case, then went inside the hospital, shot one, potentially two others. We don't know if they were patients, if they were employees. We also know at some point in time a CPD officer was engaged, and he is in critical condition after being shot. So that is the latest we know right now, but still very much active in Mercy Hospital as the offender is in a known location. We do not know, though, his condition. That is the latest from here.
The hospital secure, though, to your knowledge, Brad?
Hospital, indeed, we believe, is secure because they have controlled where they know this offender is, cleared everyone out. So the overall premise, we're told, though, is secure. Rob.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Now we want to go back out to the ground there. CBS 2's Dana Kozlov within the vicinity of the hospital. So, Dana, what are you hearing now?
Well, Erica and Rob, we're still waiting for to hear anything officially. I can tell you, though, we're at 26th in Michigan. I can tell you that what I have seen here, and I'm going to step out of the way, over the last 15 or 20 minutes is just police and fire personnel at this corner. That is a stark contrast to what we saw when we first drove up here, where we saw staff members and some patients and others who were inside the hospital leaving and walking to this intersection after they had been evacuated from the hospital. It is a lot calmer here at the intersection of 26 in Michigan than it was, obviously, 45 minutes ago. As opposed to new vehicles, police and fire driving up, there actually some have driven away. It's unclear, though, if the hospital is considered secure at this point. We did see sharpshooters, SWAT team members earlier, arming up, suiting up, and walking towards the hospital as well. I understand that on the east side of the hospital, the east, if you go east on 26, that's where a lot of those SWAT team members were originally. So again, waiting for official confirmation, or rather official information as well, about exactly what is happening now. But I can tell you, regarding what Brad said about his information, it's sort of it seems that it corroborates what a witness I spoke to said earlier, that the shooting seemed to start outside the hospital and then somehow moved inside the hospital. But of course, that's something we will try to confirm for you. In fact, I believe this is a police department spokesperson heading our way. Let me ask him if he's going to have anything to say. Excuse me. Yeah, I would like to, yeah, we're live right now. No. Okay. Hold on, excuse me, I'm listening. Rob and Erica, I'm going to listen in. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's fine, Dana. We appreciate it. And obviously, these reporters trying to hear anything they can. Let's listen.
We'll send it out, but we'll probably do UFC, but we're not going to do a statement here.
So they're not going to do a statement right there. Anthony Guglielmi from the Chicago Police Department will be sending out a statement. He's been very good on Twitter all afternoon doing exactly that. And as we get the reporter stories coming together and some of these witnesses' stories and what information Brad is adding to it, it sounds like potentially a domestic incident about 3:15 this afternoon starts with a man shooting a woman, then perhaps going in the hospital. We're not sure if he shot. He could have shot maybe one or two other people before he was shot. An officer was shot, taken to, we believe, University of Chicago Hospital, where he is in critical condition. And that's kind of the capsule of what happened. There are so many nuances and intricacies here, but that's kind of the general idea of what happens, and we're trying to give you the best information we can here with a situation that's been going on for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, and Brad mentioning that his sources are telling him that the shooter, the suspected shooter, is down still in some part of the hospital that they're not identifying at this time, but apparently the shooter who was involved in this domestic incident, or what started as a domestic incident with this woman outside of the hospital, is down at some point, somewhere anywhere in the vicinity of the hospital. A couple of new information, pieces of new information coming in. One, Dunbar High School was under a lockdown. That lockdown has been lifted at this time. Additionally, for anyone who may have concerns about locating family members in the area, they want to reiterate to you that 27th and King Drive is a staging area for those that want to try and contact or find out the location of their family members who could have been working at Mercy Hospital, who could have been patients at Mercy Hospital, or even just in that vicinity. So again, that's 27th and King Drive, a staging area.